everybody, I'm Sue Hitzmann, creator of the MELT method. MELT is a simple self-care technique to help you get out and stay out of chronic pain. In this MELT Express class, I'll be using the MELT Soft Hand and Foot Treatment Ball and our MELT Soft Body Roller. Our products have a nice soft compression, which is important for what we want to do, which is to restore neurological stability and balance, quiet the stress components of our nervous system, and boost our body's natural repair and regulation. Especially in times of high stress, it's important that we actively participate in keeping our connective tissue supple and hydrated, as well as helping our nervous system restore and come back to balance. If you're curious to find out more about the MELT method, go to meltmethod.com. You can order the products, as well as check out my streaming platform, which has over 150 videos, treatments, and self-care techniques that you can apply to your own daily life and keep your body feeling great, even in the times of stress. I hope you enjoy this video. Happy melting. So let's start our treatment with a basic rest assess. You're going to lie on your back with your palms faced up and your arms and legs extended. Take a nice focused breath into your body and allow yourself to give yourself permission to go into your body and sense what you feel. Use your body sense, scan your masses and spaces. I want you to tune into 4 common imbalances that many of us possess that are left unaddressed from day to day, and these are an indication that our body needs some self-care to restore natural balance and regulation. In your upper body, if you turn your head left and right, and you feel like you have limited range or pain to turn your head to either side, I want you to make a note of that before we start our treatment. Take a breath in and notice where the weight of your torso is in relationship to your low back space. If you place a finger in your belly button, ideally your low back space feels most lifted below the belly button. If you're feeling like most or all of your back weight's on your shoulder blades and you have an excessive arch in your back, make a check mark for that common imbalance. The third common imbalance is in the pelvis. If you feel like you're lying on your tailbone rather than evenly weighted butt cheeks, or the fourth common imbalance, feeling like the back of the thighs are off the ground on one or both sides, you've identified some stuck stress we want to try to eliminate in our map. Finally, use your body sense and sense your left and right halves. Divide yourself into a left and right half. If it feels to you like one entire side of your body is more weighted, or maybe you're sensing one leg feels longer than the other, make a note of that. That's what we call autopilot inefficiency. It's simply saying that your nervous system is having a hard time finding your center of gravity because we have a lot of accumulative stress in our connective tissue, altering our fine balance. Bend your knees, turn on your side, and come on and up to sitting. And let's do a quick mini hand treatment. You can either sit up onto the roller or just sit on the floor with me. You're going to grab the ball in one hand. You're going to squeeze it a few times in one hand to assess your grip. And then grab it onto the other side. I want you to assess 3 things. The first is, does your grip feel offset from left to right? Does one hand feel stronger? Also notice as you squeeze the ball if you feel a lot of strain in either of your forearms. And also notice if your fingers feel tense or tight to create the grip. Then we'll create gliding. You'll place the ball down on the floor, and right at the base of your hand, you'll glide the ball back and forth. Gliding is a preparatory technique. It's a way to prepare the connective tissue, especially in the superficial layers, so we don't go too deep too fast or impact the tissue in a negative way. And then you can try that on the other side. Same thing, a little easy gliding. The secret of a glide is keeping the pressure constant in a small local region. So the base of your hand is fairly small and local, so it should be an easy treatment to do. The second technique is called shearing. Let's try it in between our fingers, and you'll just pin the skin and create small circular motions. You could also be doing this on the floor by creating that same small subtle compression technique. So whichever way is easier for you to do it. After you do a compression technique like shearing, you'll compress, wait there for a moment, give the tissue a moment to adapt, and then we'll rinse from the base of the fingers to the tip of the fingers. The rinsing technique is a global fluid exchange. It's a way to create a nice charge in the connective tissue to create body-wide signaling through the body and induce a fluid exchange from head to toe. Let's try it on the other side. So as I go down the fingers on the floor, I'm actually going up the palm of my top hand. So I'm stimulating the collagen bindings and the joints of my fingers, which is just always a great thing to do. And you're also creating the fluid exchange up the palm of the opposite hand. The last technique is called friction. Just very lightly rub the ball with your hands. It's a great way to stimulate the lymphatic system. If you take some slow breaths in and out through your sinuses, it'll just help for overall circulation. Now let's reassess. Squeeze the ball a few times in one hand and then the other. And notice if your grip feels a little bit more balanced from left to right. Maybe notice if your forearms feel less tense or if the tension in your fingers has been alleviated just from that quick treatment. If you're noticing those treatments are making changes quickly, you're well hydrated and you're going to make great changes as we continue. Let's go for a rebalance sequence. You're going to come up onto the top of the roller and place your hand onto the top of your head. Make sure that your head lands onto the top of the roller and your hips are at the bottom. You'll place your forearms on the ground and you'll begin with a basic move called gentle rocking. Just begin to take some slower than normal breaths in and out of your body and allow your masses to gently tip right and left, keeping your spine connected to the roller and not letting your spine rub up against it. This is an easy way to help your autopilot reconnect to your center of gravity by challenging your balance on the unstable surface of the roller. Then come back to a center point, place your hands on your pelvis, and gently tuck your pelvis, and then try to tilt. This movement is what we call differentiation. Tucking is elongating the low back toward the roller. Tilting is returning the back of the pelvis to the top of the roller. Now when you tuck, try to keep your feet light. And when you tilt, try to keep your ribs quiet. You can even place your hands on your ribs to continue to tuck and tilt and really try to acquire that subtle movement just in your pelvis. Let's go one more time. Gently tucking your pelvis without pushing into your feet, tilting your pelvis to return it back to the top of the roller, and then find somewhere in the middle. Let's try the 3D breath breakdown. Place one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest, and let's take 3 slightly slower than normal inhalations into the front and back of your body. Exhaling, allowing the body to just fall back to the midline. Again, slightly slower than normal breath into the front and back of your body, breathing in 2 dimensions. And then exhaling. Slow down your breath as much as you need to on your inhale to try to sense both the top and the bottom hand expanding on your breath in and feeling your body naturally releasing back to the midline. Then place your hands onto the sides of your ribs and in the same fashion breathe into the sides of your body, breathing with. Exhaling, allowing your body to fall back to the midline. Again, slightly slower than normal breath into your hands and exhaling. One more time, breathing in and out. Now let's try to breathe a length breath. One hand all the way up on your collarbones, one hand way down onto the bottom of the pubic bone. This time try to breathe all the way down to your bottom hand, all the way up to the top of the collarbones, breathing length through your torso, and then exhaling and letting your body fall back to the midline. Trying it again, breathing in, noticing if your body is gently tipping or rocking on the roller. Don't stop it from happening. Exhaling, allowing the body to relax. Let the rebalancing effect occur, breathing into both hands and exhaling. Now let's activate our core reflex through a forced exhalation. We'll take a nice 6-sided breath in, and this time we'll force an exhale. Keep making that sound until you have no breath left in your body. And once you get to the end of your exhale, hold that sense of that contraction. And then when you inhale, try to let it all go. Make it again. See if you can sense that engagement front to back, side to side, top to bottom. Everything is engaging inward. One more time, try it. If you think you can sense that contraction this time, take a 6-sided breath. Let your natural exhale initiate the breath, And then without forcing it, feel and follow that contraction and see if you can sense the contraction in your abdomen. And then most importantly, when you inhale, try to let it all go. Exhale, feel and follow. Take your arms up into the air and let's do a few movements with the shoulder girdle, trying to allow the ribs to be relaxed, and try a move we call shoulder blade reach, reaching the arms up and away from the roller, and then allowing the shoulder girdle to sink back along the side of the roller. Notice the angle of my arms is slightly forward to give more movement to the bottom of the shoulder girdle so that we increase the tendency for rehydration between the shoulder blades and the ribs. And then one more time, allow the shoulder girdle to go heavy. Take your palms down to the ground, tip your nose up to the ceiling, slightly turn your head to the right, energize your left arm away. Take a nice breath in. Exhale if you want, make your sound shh. With that engagement of your abdomen, see if you can find tension pull down your arm, and then bring your head back to center. Take a breath in. On an exhale, slightly turn your head to the left, energize your right arm away. As you exhale, find your core. Feel free to make that SH sound. And then bring your head back to center. Straighten out one of your legs, slide on off the roller, pelvis, ribs, and then your head. Keep your knees bent. Place the roller right behind the base of your skull. And let's try a gentle neck release. Keeping the pressure constant, just nice and slowly turn your head left and right. If you're at the base of the skull, the roller will stay between the skull and the cervical spine, right at the base of the skull. If it feels like the roller is rolling into your neck, you start it with it just a little too low. Just bring the roller up a little bit higher and try again to create subtle movement. And then let's stay over onto the left side and let's try our shearing, which was that pinning of the skin and creating a subtle movement, just like we used with the ball. So I'm not rubbing my head up against the roller, I'm pinning the skin and creating a little movement of my skull to create a shear effect. And then wait there for a moment, give the tissue a moment to adapt. And then let's turn our head the other way and same thing, creating small circles or head turns. And again, wait there for a moment, give the tissue a moment to adapt. Coming back to the center with our head, maybe making just a few small figure eights, or what I think of as a backstroke, right onto the base of the skull. And then again, let's wait there for a moment, give the tissue a moment to adapt. Place your hands on your roller, push the roller onto the center of the back of the head. Let's try the fourth R of melt, being release. You're going to take a breath in, and on an exhale, subtly nod your nose down without losing the space in the front of your neck. Take another breath in with your head slightly nodded down. And then as you exhale, lift your chin back up. 2 more times. Take a breath in. On an exhale, nod your nose down. Take another breath in, and on an exhale, lift your chin back up. 1 more time, take a breath in. On an exhale, nod your nose down, and then take another breath in, and exhale, and lift your chin back up. Awesome. Take the roller away from your head and place the roller behind the back of your thighs. Once you have the roller in place, just drop your legs down and let's try another shear, just like we did on the cervical spine, for the back of your thighs. Keeping your heels on the ground, just allow your legs to subtly open and close. Now remember, a shearing technique is to pin the skin against the underlying plane of your body, being your bones and muscles, and the roller itself. So we're pinning the skin to create this shearing action. And then wait there for a moment, give the tissue a moment to adapt. And then take your fingers on the roller and push the roller down a little bit and create that same subtle figure 8 motion.
Now there's a lot of other techniques that we can do to refine our practice, but again, just as a quick treatment, if you're doing the shear right, the roller should slowly feel like it starts to backpedal itself up your legs just a little bit as you create the shear effect. Then wait there for a moment, give the tissue a moment to adapt, and move the roller down and find one more spot, and again create your shear effect. So we could be working on one leg at a time, and on my streaming platform I show other refined techniques to really get even more out of the shearing on the back of our thighs. And then same thing, we'll just wait here for a second, give the tissue a moment to adapt. And now bring the roller down onto your calf, and let's try a little gliding and shearing on the calf. Crossing one ankle over, I want you to subtly bend your knee and straighten your leg. Now, once you get the gliding going on your calf, try to focus on bending your knee and keeping the pressure on the foot side of the roller. And then as you straighten your leg out, keep the pressure the same. So as I bend my knee, my pressure is more on the foot side of the roller, and as I straighten my leg, the pressure is more on the top of the roller. But the pressure is constant whether I'm bending or straightening my knee. I'm going to find a spot that I can work on. I can explore the tissue by turning my calf a little inward or outward. If I feel a tender spot, I'm not going to land right on it. Instead, I'm going to nuzzle up against it. I'm going to meet my barrier, and gently I'm going to flex and point my ankle. Or I can make U-shaped motions with my calf. Or I could create a shearing by pinning the skin and twisting. And then I'll wait there for a moment, give the tissue a moment to adapt. And let's try it on the other side. So again, gliding, when the roller is moving, you're gliding. It's a way to prepare the tissue for the next technique called shearing. It's also a way to investigate the tissue for areas of our connective tissue that have gotten a little tacked down. So remember, as you bend your knee, the pressure is a little bit more on the foot side of the roller, and as you straighten your leg, your pressure returns to the top of the roller. I can turn my calf a little bit outward and glide, or a little inward and explore the region of my entire calf. Again, if I find an area that's tender, I won't land right on it. I'll get smaller and smaller until I just nuzzle up against it, and then I'll create my shear effect either by circling my ankle or making U-shaped motions. I could rotate my leg or roll my leg over the roller. Notice that the roller is staying still when I do a shear. Or I could pin the skin and create a subtle twisting action to create that direct shear as well. And then again, I'll wait there for a second and give the tissue a moment to adapt. Let's now release our low back and rehydrate through a lengthening technique. Place your hips onto the top of the roller. Make sure that the roller's in the right place. The top of the hip should be on your side of the roller, not on your low back. So if I bring my knees into my chest, the roller's not going to roll out from underneath me. Once I have the roller in place, I'm going to set my left foot down onto the ground, ball of the big toe, outside of the foot and my heel. I'm going to tuck my pelvis. Remember that tucking action that we did, elongating the length of the pelvis toward my body. And I'm going to try to energize my left knee over my toes to create a lengthening technique for the front thigh. This move is called bent knee press. And then I'll inhale, ease back some pressure. And again, exhale and tuck. And then let's try that on the other side, bringing your left leg up, setting your right foot down onto the ground, taking a breath in, exhaling and tucking. Inhale, ease back some of your pressure. Exhale. Let's try hip to heel press. I want you to kick your leg out low and long, and nice and slow. Bring that leg up. Try to keep your knee as straight as you can. Flex your foot, and now try to tilt your pelvis onto the top of the roller. Notice that that increases my low back curve a little bit, but what I didn't do was arch my mid back. So keep the movement just to the pelvis. Tilt the pelvis as you flex, and then let that go. Let's try that on the other side, kicking your leg low and long, bringing the leg up, taking a breath in. On an exhale, flex your foot, and again, tilt the pelvis in opposition. Think two-directional length. and then let that go. Let's try our tuck and tilt as a modified tuck and tilt here, just like we did when our hips were on the roller, tucking without pushing into our feet, tilting without moving our ribs. So feel free to keep your hands on your rib cage and focus on what's staying stable as you move your pelvis subtly in from a tuck, back to a tilt. One more time, tucking and tilting. Then slowly bring your knees into your chest, roll the roller out from underneath your pelvis, lie flat on your back, palms faced up, arms and legs extended, and let's reassess. Now at the beginning, I said notice your masses and spaces. If you started off feeling like you had limited range or pain in your head turn, try to turn your head now and see if you freed up any range or decreased any pain in your neck. Bring your head back to center. If you felt like you had most or all of your back weight on your shoulder blades, notice now if your mid-ribs are a little bit more relaxed to the ground. In your pelvis, notice if you have a little bit more sense of your butt cheeks rather than your tailbone on the ground. And notice if the back of the thighs have relaxed a little bit to the floor. And then also divide yourself into a left and a right half. If you started off feeling very offset from left to right, notice if you feel more balanced from left to right, showing that you've helped to restore your autopilot's efficiency by restoring its connection to your center of gravity. Take a nice breath into your body and notice if your breath feels more full and if your body has more sense of relaxation in your masses and spaces. Bend your knees, turn yourself on your side, and come on up to sitting. If you enjoyed that Melt 30-Minute Express class, head over to meltmethod.com and check out my streaming platform, Melt On Demand. There you'll find over 150 self-care treatments in the categories of pain, performance, and lifestyle. And I launch a brand new video every single week so that you can engage in self-care anywhere and live a happy, healthy, pain-free life. I hope you enjoyed that map. And remember, if you want to find out more about the Melt Method, head over to meltmethod.com and start your free trial of Melt On Demand today. Happy melting.